around the world. You're doing great things around the world. Yeah, you're doing great things around the world. You're doing great things around the world. Great things, yeah.
Welcome to our final episode of Diaspora Link first season. My name is Diallo Sumbri. I am your host. I'm super excited about the episode today. Before we even get into this episode with this guest, I just want to say that I'm very grateful to all of our viewers, everybody who shared the links, everybody who's tuned in every Sunday, everybody who's given us feedback, both critical feedback and feedback to say you love it. We do this because we want to share successful stories. We want to share challenges, and we are serious about linking up the diaspora. We are totally in love with our team and our partner here at GhanaWeb. Again, this is our final episode, so we believe in celebrating the small victories, right? We've been able to do 20 episodes with all amazing guests. We want to thank all of our guests who've appeared here on Diaspora Link. And today, on our final episode, I have a very, 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 very special episode, and I have a very, very, very special guest. I'm not even going to tell you her name yet, but we're going to get into this episode, and we're going to take her through the same thing we took all of our other guests to. So, again, thank you so much. My heart is full. Thank you for the support. Thank you for this first season for Diaspora Link, exclusively on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Diallo Sumbri. I'm your host with the most. This episode is so special, I had to put my grills in for the last episode. Let's go. Welcome back to Diaspora Link. Y'all know I'm super excited. This is our last episode of our first season, and I'm going to say that I saved the best for last, right? So I've had to pull her from behind the camera and put her in front of the camera. So we're going to find out more about somebody who's been behind the camera and who's helped us design this show and has been working on all 20 episodes. I'm not even going to tell you who she is yet. I'm just going to get into her choices and her top 5. Welcome, madam.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Are you nervous?
I'm nervous.
Are you nervous?
I'm
Good.
nervous,
Good. I want you to be nervous because, because now you're on this side of the camera. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't have to explain the game to you. You know what choices are.
Yes.
Okay. So, choices. I'm going to give you your choices. You come back to me.
Okay.
Long hair versus short hair.
Short hair, because it's hot outside.
So even if you're someplace when it's cold, short hair.
I still prefer short hair. I really love hats. And hats look so good on like short hair because they always get the right shape, especially like the the Russian kind of hats with the long ears.
Okay. Next question. London versus Dubai.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Why did I have to think about this? I think Dubai.
Dubai over London.
I think
Why?
Dubai over London because I know London and the United Kingdom so well inside out. I'm no longer excited by it. Whereas I've only been a resident of Dubai for about a year, so I'm still quite excited. There's still so many things to find in the whole of the Emirates, so I'm still just figuring out Dubai. So I think that's why.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah. Plantain.
I know. I'm not, because I know plantain is your favorite food, so I'm not going to ask you anything about plantain. And I even know you're going to say that when we get to top 5. Banku versus fufu.
Okay, fufu. But that's just because I like the smooth flow of the fufu. Banku for me is a little bit grainy. It's like reaching over towards like kenke, which I'm not really a fan of.
Right, you're not a fan of kenke.
No.
But banku you eat.
Yeah, I have banku in my house right now.
You like banku. But you prefer fufu.
I prefer fufu.
Just because it goes down smoother,
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. And even then, if we were adding like TZ, then I'll be on the TZ side.
Okay.
Because the smoother the flow for me.
The smoother
but
the
always
flow.
with the okra, spicy.
Always with the
and
okra
fish.
and always spicy. Okay, all right. I'm gonna ask you this question, and I already know the answer. Brunch versus dinner.
Yeah, brunch.
I already knew the answer.
Yeah.
What is it about brunch? What do you like so much about brunch?
Firstly, I love an opportunity to meet with people over food and drinks, socializing and having positive energy. And when a brunch event is properly curated, it's just vibes. It's like the vibes of the evening club, but you're wearing daytime clothes. You can see people's faces clearly. You can achieve goals. You can make that sale. It can be a meeting. I find brunch is like the most flexible time of the day to meet people as well. It's the perfect time. It's not too early. It's not too late. Finish brunch, go home, get changed, chill with the family, go out again. Love
And brunch has to be on a Sunday. Sunday is the day for brunch.
So it's really funny because in Ghana, Sunday's the day for brunch, but in UAE for ages, Friday was my go-to day for brunch because of course Friday was a weekend and Sunday was a Monday. But now they kind of evening out, so I guess Sunday is going to be brunch day all over the world for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Ada versus Axim.
Ooh.
East versus West.
So that's interesting. I only just first got over to XM. I went to the Baja private island a couple of weeks ago, so I now know the difference between Ada and XM. I will say XM because with Ada, of what I understand of it, it's beautiful, it's lovely. Of course, you know, it's my favorite place to be. But actually XM, like when we were going to the private island, there was this point where the boat was going over a portion of the ocean that was lowered. So people were walking, but then when we came back in the evening, it was like a full-blown like waterbed, and the whole thing about it just fascinated me. Also, the way that the fishermen have their fishing things like positioned, like you know, you can't get those stories in Ada, right? Our boat guy, he drives us around, but there's not much to tell.
Right.
With an Axim, you know, the guy was like, yeah, and then this happens, and you know, this part of the water will be raised later, madam, please look here, and when we came back, he gave me such amazing stories that I'm now fascinated to go around Axim a lot more.
Wow.
In fact, go around the whole of the East.
I need to do that.
You
I
do?
need to check that out.
Yeah, I'll take you.
You're
not good.
Really? You want to take
me? And he's a good DJ.
Witness. I have a lot of witnesses here. Okay, last one for your choices. This is an easy one for you too, but I'll tell you why I'm saying this. Entrepreneurship versus being employee.
Ah, that's not an easy one. I think you thought I was going to say entrepreneurship.
Yes.
But that's because you forget that I equally care about my career as a dean.
No, I know.
So
I know.
I will always do both. I actually am a hybrid. I always do both.
You got to choose one. If you could only choose one.
Okay, if I could only choose one, I'll choose entrepreneurship because I can always be well-fed and extremely wealthy.
Okay. Well-fed and extremely wealthy.
With entrepreneurship.
With entrepreneurship.
With academia, not so much, you know.
Right. Well, I mean, academia is not the only salaried, employed position, but for you it is. But
for me, it's where my passion goes when it comes to my career.
Yeah. I want to thank our guests for playing choices, and now we're going to move to something called Top 5, and then we're going to dive into the interview. This is a special show. This is our 20th show. This is the final episode of Season 1 of Diaspora Link, so you can expect something a little bit different. Top 5.
Yes.
Favorite food.
Plantain.
Plantain. So
we're
not talking about appetizers. Favorite food in the whole world. Plantain.
Do you realize plantain? I think I know 15 different ways to eat plantain.
Okay.
And this is across breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch, snacks. Plantain.
You know what? I'm gonna share something with the world who's watching about plantain. No.
Because I can have plantain with nuts.
No,
so it helps.
Listen, I wasn't even gonna talk about how much you love nuts. Yeah. Right? I was gonna talk about something else, about plantain.
Yeah.
And you know this because I shared this with you. Kelewele is a beautiful thing. And I want to thank you all for leaving the domain for me.
Oh, yes. Is you own kelewele.com, right?
Kelewele.com. I'm one of those guys. I'm crazy. We wake up in the middle of the night and buy domains. We do crazy stuff.
I think we should do something with that one day.
No, we are. Okay. We definitely are going to do something.
Yeah.
And because, and what you just said in terms of 15 ways to make plantains, I'll share more with you about that. Okay, favorite food is that. Favorite artist, if you only can choose one artist in the whole world across musical genres, what artist is that?
Ooh. You know, lately, I'm just going to stick with what I've been listening to a lot lately and who I'm just fascinated by.
Give me one artist.
Buju.
Oh.
Yeah, he's really stolen it for me.
Driver. Don't stop at all.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, no, not Banton.
No, Buju who?
Nigerian Buju.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Phoenix, and literally every other song that we sing now.
Got you. Oh, I thought you were
I
talking
know
about...
it would have been no. That's
Look,
because you know
I
I
was
love
all
the bashment,
wrong.
the
She
reggae.
let me go.
No, because you know I love
and
that.
I know you love reggae, so I thought...
Nah, but he's stolen
Really?
it. Yeah.
Of all artists,
I'm
you
in
get
shock.
one. You get to choose one right now in the whole world,
And
you currently. Wow,
I'm currently in
that's
shock
what's
about
up.
it. I do wake up in the morning and I do have a playlist that is mainly Buju at the moment.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna get into it.
Yeah.
Favorite book or a book that's had a serious impact on your life?
The Art of Seduction.
The Art of Seduction. Tell me
Robert
why.
Greene. Well, 48 Laws of Power was my first Robert Greene book, and that stole my heart for Robert, right? And luckily, I was able to meet him. And then when I met him one day, he told me that I'm one of the characters in The Art of Seduction. It's called a siren. And I didn't really get it, but he explained it to me live, and then I went back and I read the book and I got it, because The Art of Seduction is mainly a business book, but people usually read it for more manipulative processes outside of business. But in actual fact, yeah, I just fell in love with that book because suddenly I could see my clients, my business partners, you know, in this book, and I just suddenly, it like opened everything to me. I was like, oh, that's what I have to do next.
Right.
So,
Art of Seduction.
Art of
Okay.
Seduction.
Next, favorite sport.
I'm not really into sports, but when I was,
If you have
I
to
was an
choose
athlete,
one.
so track and field was my thing.
You were in track and field? Did I know that?
Last runner relay, 100-meter sprints, 1800-meter run, high jump, shot put, and
This was high school, university.
yeah, high school till about 20.
Really? I didn't know that. I learned something new.
You do?
Track and field.
Because my grandfather was like, he ran for Scotland in the Olympics or something.
Okay.
So when I was young, he just kept going, oh, you know, you should do athletics, you should do athletics. So yeah, I just did athletics.
Wow, I would have never guessed track and field. Dope. Last one is favorite place to vacation. This, you know, as you know, can be a place that you've already been or a place that you want to go. But this is a vacation.
Okay,
and
so
I always
this
have to say
excludes
this.
Ghana.
It doesn't exclude Ghana.
Okay.
But I just have to say this for people like us because
We don't know how to leave.
well, we don't know how to vacation
I know.
sometimes. Right? So this is your favorite place to vacation.
Okay, so the best vacation I've ever had was in Egypt.
Egypt.
Because at first I thought I was going there for the whole find my people, you know, pyramids and stuff. But then we got this amazing driver. He took us to this place. There was serving pigeon. I was like, who eats pigeon? Okay, but it was interesting. Took us on a long drive to Alexandria. Stopped us off in like a bee farm. We got fresh honey. Got to Alexandria.
wow.
Like it was so much.
And
like
it was
an
a true
overload.
vacation.
It was literally a vacation. I had no laptops, no phone, just me
Okay.
and two of my friends, and the best driver. And Egypt became it for me because now even my driver in the UAE is Egyptian. Just Egyptian drivers are just the best. They just seem so enthused. And so he made Egypt like the best holiday ever.
The best place.
Yeah, he took me to meet his family. Took us to meet his family, his friends. He was like, he was doing the
Everything.
most.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really nice.
That's our top 5. As you know, one of the reasons why we do top 5 is we want to get to know each other better. Like I've known this young lady here for a little while, but I've just learned something new about her that I had absolutely no idea existed. Track and field, like really, like word. Okay, now let's actually get into the interview.
Great things, yeah, around the world.
And we are back. Now let's dive into this interview. I told you I wouldn't tell you this young lady's name, but now I will. Today I'm interviewing Miss Tanisha Tagoe. Tanisha is someone who's become a really good friend and a business partner. She's actually the co-executive producer of Diaspora Link with me. And you won't normally get a chance to have the host interview the producer, but we different. We different. So today I actually wanted you all to meet her and interview her the way that I've interviewed everybody else, because I'm also inspired by her story, and I wanted her to share her story with you all because I think you'll also be inspired. Tanisha.
Thank you,
the
Tane.
homie. What's up?
I'm good.
All right. So
Really
we've
good.
done top 5.
We have.
We've done choices. Now, tell me about Tanisha Tagoe. Tanisha Tagoe is of Ghanaian descent, heritage. You're a Ghanaian woman.
Yep.
Right? From the first day I've met you, you've been threatening me about the powers of a Ga woman,
Yes.
right? And that I need to act right and be
right.
right. So tell me a little bit about your history. Where were you born? Where were you born? Your family, and a little bit about how you were raised. And came up.
So I was born in Ghana to my parents and my family. And then they traveled extensively. So we lived in Zaria, Nigeria for a while. We went out to Europe, spent time with my grandmother. Then by about age 5, 6, we ended up in Maryland, living on a military base out in Severn. And that was
who was in the military?
my aunt, my mom's sister.
Okay.
So my mom has this passion about helping everyone. So I've got 4 brothers from my mom, and she just picked up me and my younger brother and just took us everywhere. If someone needed help, she was like, "I'm gonna come and rescue you, but I'm taking these kids."
Right.
So we did a lot of like moving around. So we went to see my aunt at that particular time, and we were there for a while. But for my 7th birthday, reaching up to my 7th birthday, I realized I just didn't like America. And I know that's really bad for me to say to you.
No, it's not. It's
Okay,
not
good,
because I know a lot of people that this place. Sometimes I don't like America.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think as a child, with the amount of countries I'd been to, it was just confusing because the dialogue felt opposite, you know?
What do you mean?
So like everywhere else I'd been, it was all about all the things you can do, you can be, you can do da-da-da-da-da. Everything was so positive. But with America, like the television always had like bad news, like proper bad news.
Okay.
And it wasn't like bad news from another country, it was like bad news from next door.
Got you.
So like as a child, I just felt like, this place is not safe.
Right.
This place is not open. I was in Girl Scout, and the girls were all great and stuff, but they just had like, and for a child, believe me, like I felt like they had an overinflated sense of like themselves because it didn't make sense. Everyone was telling everyone we could all be president one day. And I was like, we can't, we're kids.
Right, right.
Because like, you know me, I'm very literal. So I was like, no, we can't.
And the reality of the situation is that everybody can't be.
Everybody
but
can't be.
The
But everybody
idea
could.
that you can be, right, but everybody could.
Exactly, and of course I aspire to be president
Right.
at some point or one day,
Right.
whether it's president of just a cookie shop or president of Ghana. I want the label, right? So, but yeah, it just felt really off to me as a child, and also TV was weird. So like at that young age, I also had so much different experiences of television, TV in Ghana, Nigeria, UK, Europe, America. So I had different experiences, and American TV was okay, but you know what really worried me was those adverts, right? When they like advertise a thing that's gonna save your life, and then like the random guy speaks at the end. He's like, may cause death, your eye to fall out, but you should buy it because only $599. I'm like, no. So as a child, I was like, these adverts are
That's
weird.
interesting because that's pretty intuitive as a young person, as a child, to catch that.
Yeah.
Right, to catch those disclaimers at the end, like, wait a minute, I thought I was going to save my life, but you said...
Well, my dad's a doctor, so my dad never ever told anyone he was going to do something that might cause death. I mean, he probably warned them that, you know, don't do this because you could die, but he wasn't like giving out paracetamol that's saying they might cause death. And so, your adverts do that in America. You know, you guys, every
both
advert.
Your dad and your mom of Ga heritage?
Yeah.
Both Ga?
Yeah, both Ga. But my dad's family has a lot of like Nigeria influences and participation.
Okay.
But my mom was born to her parents, who at the time was the paramount chief of, I can't remember the word to say it now, Sempe. Sempe is like the grounds within Accra and a bit around. He passed away a little while ago, a couple of years back. So yeah, so anyway, so I was born into that kind of mix. But age 7, I was in America. My mom was like, what do you want for your birthday? So I said, I want to go live with grandma. She was like...
At 7 years old, you realized that you didn't want to stay in America. So for your birthday, you asked to go to live with your grandmother, who was where?
In London.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd been to her a few times. And
your mom gave you that wish?
Yeah, she wasn't happy. And at the time, I didn't get it. Like, I felt like she was really mean. But now as an adult, I'm like, oh my God, I was like probably one of the most horrible thing a child could say to his parent, right?
That I want to go
live with someone else.
I want to go live with someone
else. I didn't even ask her. I wanted us to leave. I was quite specific about the fact that I wanted to do it.
But you probably were very clear from having moved around a bit that you weren't asking your mom to leave where she wanted to be.
No, yeah, because she loved doing that stuff. I just wanted to be where I wanted
to be. Okay.
So she let me have that. I flew on KLM. With the air hostess. I remember my Nintendo, like a Nintendo kind of Game Boyish toy. I had a couple of teddy bears, and I had a cute little pull bag. And then my aunts and all my family met me at the airport, and it was all love.
And so from 7 until?
Yeah, till whatever. I just stayed with my grandma. My mum kept flying back and forth, and she eventually joined us when I was a teenager.
Okay.
And then of course I had a child at 16. I got pregnant.
Okay, so. You coming from your family in Ghana, you went to the US, you went to the UK. When young women get pregnant at a young age, most of society says it's over for you.
Yeah.
Not only do they say it's over for you, there's a large judgment.
Exactly.
Right? whatever happened is your fault because you have to carry the baby. So you went out and got pregnant.
Yeah, I got pregnant. Yeah.
You went out and got pregnant. The guy didn't do nothing.
No. Yeah, I was just me. Like Mary,
pregnant.
Immaculate Conception.
Right. You didn't get married.
Yeah.
So what was your family's reaction? What was their response to you getting pregnant? And was it something were you ashamed? Did you just or were you just like, it is what it is? Let me tell them.
So first of all, there was, for me personally, I mean, I didn't know I was pregnant for the first 23 weeks. So I had
23 weeks.
So like nearly 5 months pregnant.
Really?
Yeah. I had everything as normal. So I didn't actually know I was pregnant. We only found out I was pregnant because I was very sick at school, and then the teachers took me to the hospital. They did a whole bunch of tests, and eventually one genius said, well, how about pregnancy test? And then it turned out I was pregnant.
Wow.
And I was 23 weeks. And I had to, of course, decide, they were told me that abortions couldn't happen after 25 weeks because it's illegal. So I was like, okay. So I just took a week to think about it. I've always been very strategic. I've always known that I need to figure out what I want to do first before I start announcing myself. Right. Mainly because I've got so many brothers who are quite overbearing. But also just because it's just always important to me that I'm good before I walk into something.
Right.
So I was like, I wanted to make sure. I did a lot of stuff like to research and figure things out or whatever, spoke to my teachers, went to the school counselor. And after a week, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have the baby. So I just waited another week. I told my mum after the deadline, after like the 25 weeks had passed, because what's the difference, a week is a week, isn't it?
Right. So that's when your mom found out.
Yeah, so I told her from school, I called her from the school phone to tell her I had something to tell her, because the journey from my house to school was like an hour 15, hour 20. So by the time she'd get to me, she'd already been
too late. When did you tell your grandmother?
No, I mean, come on. I told my mom on the phone, the whole world knew.
So you didn't tell your grandmother, you didn't have like a grandmother or aunt or somebody who you could confide in?
No. I mean, my grandma would have been who I confided in.
Okay.
But the thing is, we're Ghanaian. And so the gossip tree is fast. And strong.
Okay. So
it's like a flame.
Okay.
So I called from school, and by the time my mum had arrived, I'm sure everybody knew. In the deepest, darkest villages of any country, they all knew.
They all knew.
She was livid. But of course, we were at school, all these white people around. What are you going to do, Mom? You got to be calm. You got to be easy, Mommy. And like, of course, the school counselor was like, come, let's step into the room. Let's have a conversation about this. Make sure everything's okay and stuff.
Did she feel like you just ruined your future kind of thing?
No. So that's one of the good things. Okay. So the whole thing about telling her in that whole event was very, like, I orchestrated it to make sure that the question of abortion couldn't come up, right? As in an option. But after I told everyone, yeah, everyone had different responses, but in the most part, because of the nature of just the people in my family, how they are, how they've built themselves up, how they understand the world, everyone was actually the opposite. So at one point, my grandma said to me, so what are you going to be when you grow up now? And I was just like, a good mom. She was like, a what? She said, what are you going to be when you grow up? I was like, a big, good adult.
Right.
So I asked this question so many times until one day I actually had a good answer, which was about my job. I was like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to have businesses. I'm going to work in education. And so she said, good, because you don't go around thinking that a mum is a job. Like, that's what you could do that in your sleep.
Say that one more time.
She was like, don't go around thinking being a mum is a job, because you can do that when you're asleep. My grandma.
Your grandmother.
She didn't want me to think that just because I was pregnant and having a child, that was now my occupation. She was like, don't
you
get
can
confused.
Still have a life.
No,
you can
you
still
better.
be great.
You
better. You better. So take me from you being pregnant and your son, whose name is?
Tyreek. He's 20 now.
Tyreek, who's 20, who you talk about a lot, who I know you love very dearly. Love him to bits. So how do you get from being in school, pregnant at 16, to being a dean at a university level? Talk me through your educational journey from having the baby. Did you have to like drop out, catch up? Like tell me about the actual journey.
Okay.
And then just give me, where was your source of encouragement and energy? Where did it come from? Well,
it's just my grandma. It's my grandma.
Okay.
So my grandma was an educator and an entrepreneur.
Okay.
She owns New Hope School in Kolebu.
Okay.
That goes from nursery to senior secondary school. So I always saw her doing that kind of entrepreneurial educator kind of role. So she was my main inspiration. But yeah, so with getting pregnant and being at school, I just went to school like normal. Then in one day they turned around and they were like, oh, she can't come to school anymore. She's pregnant. My grandma was like, she's pregnant, she's not stupid. And then these teachers were naive. They didn't understand my grandmother. So they continued to persist. So I don't know how she did it, but she managed to get the government to fund the teachers that teach me to leave school and come to the house to teach me at the house. So everyone at school lost maths teacher in maths class and stuff, like one lesson a week. And then she got me this amazing tutor, this blind guy. and he was teaching me English lit. And I'm dyslexic, right? So it's just my relationship with words is just awkward and different. And this blind man knew every single word in every single book and was telling me when I was reading it wrong. And in the beginning, we had a very difficult relationship because I would get very annoyed with him because my eyes were telling me that's what I was seeing. And I know he can't see it. And he was saying he's not seeing
it. A blind tutor for a dyslexic person is an interesting combination.
So between him and her, my grandma and this guy, I can't remember his name right now, Anthony, but I can't remember his surname. Like between the two of them, I was like, no, I can never complain about being a mum, being disabled, being this, being that. I can complain about nothing. Like it's not even gonna run.
Right.
I did extremely well in my GCSEs. I got all the top grades in every single thing you could. And in maths, I got even 100% and a special certificate from the examination body. I bossed it. And then I was there, I had a baby, and I continued studying. I did quite a few A-levels. So we have A-levels in the UK, so I did.
So what are A-levels?
So they're the thing before university that you do to get the credits for university.
Okay.
So with high school, secondary school, you get the credits to go to college, or you can stay on like an extra 2 years of a version of college in your secondary school.
Okay.
But because I'd already had a child and I'd left, I was like, I'm not going back there. Like, I've grown out of that thing. So I went to college. And I studied psychology, sociology, critical thinking, maths, business, and media as A-levels. 3 of them as A2s, which is only 1 year, and then 3 of them as full.
Got you.
And I went to film school. But along the way, I would always talk to people. You know, I love talking to people, telling them about what I want to do, and asking them what they think I should do to be able to get myself there.
Right.
I think I'm very good at, I think that's the way I should say, I'm very good at making people aware of my shortcomings and where I need their help or where I would like their help. I've been,
and that's the place where a lot of people struggle.
Exactly.
That's the place where a lot of people struggle, is to be able to identify your own shortcomings and areas of improvement and where you need help.
Exactly.
To be better.
Yeah.
We're going to take a small break, and then we're going to come back to discussing your educational prowess to becoming a dean of a university, and then let's talk about how you got back to Ghana, because so far you left Ghana at an early age, America, London. Let's talk about what made you actively choose to come back to Ghana.
Perfect.
We're going to be right back. Peace, global African family. My name is Diallo Sumbri. I'm a co-architect of Ghana's Year of Return 2019, and I'm the president and CEO of the Adinkra Group. For the past 5 years, we've been bringing loads and loads of people to Ghana. Many of them, their first time on the African continent, their first time putting their toes in the African sand, in the African soil. And so many people have had their life changed. Our Birthright journeys are curated cultural immersion journeys centered around reclaiming cultural identity, exploring your ancestral heritage, and celebrating African resilience. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our Birthright Journey Partner Program. It's really simple, and you really don't have to do much, other than email us at info@theadinkragroup.com. Now, what makes a great Birthright Journey partner for our program? Are you a leader? Are you an influencer? Are you that person that your family calls on to organize, or do you automatically know that that's your job? Are you somebody of status in your community? Are you a community leader? Are you that person in your church or in the school? If you are the ideal Birthright Journey partner. Do you believe that every person of African descent should have an opportunity to touch ground on the continent of Africa? If you are, then you are the ideal Birthright Journey partner. It's simple. We're going to show you how you can travel to Ghana for free. Not only can you travel to Ghana for free, but you can actually get paid to travel to Ghana. Really simple. Just contact us at info@theadinkragroup.com and set up a discovery call. You'll get to travel with your family and friends, you'll get to travel with your community, and the best part of it is that it'll be free for you. Or you'll even earn money doing it. So again, info@theadinkragroup.com. We look forward to seeing you in Ghana. We look forward to dancing with you in Ghana. We look forward to eating fufu, eating jollof, eating wache. Make sure you contact us now, and we would love for you to become a Birthright Journey partner. Madasi. Welcome back. We are here with Tanisha Tagoe. Let's get back into the interview. So, you're obviously one of those people who are naturally talented educationally, right? Not to take away anything from anybody else, any of your teachers, your parents, your DNA, but there was a natural talent in you that allowed you to be able to have a lot of success, absorb information, absorb knowledge, regurgitate it. So eventually you went to school, you got your degree, and then you went to graduate school.
Actually, no.
Okay.
So first I was a film and television producer. I went to film school.
You went to film school?
Mm-hmm. I worked on quite a lot of film and TV projects. I was the BET UK producer.
So BET UK producer, okay.
So like a lot of the It's My Thing, you know, BET has those It's My Thing
Wait
segments.
a minute, did you include all of this on your resume when I was interviewing you for producer for this?
No.
So I must have been so in tune and smart that I just knew. Is that what it was?
Yeah, you must have.
Okay.
Because I remember when you asked me, I was like, and I said to you, Diallo, I'm not sure about this, but then I was like, okay, whatever. He doesn't know.
BET UK.
Yeah, BET UK, but also like cinematic films. I've made documentaries like The Story of Lovers Rock. I've worked on massive blockbusters in the UK like Adulthood. There's loads of stuff. Even music videos. For example, everyone loves the Azonto video, right?
Right.
But few people realize it's my video. It's on my channel. When you watch Azonto video, there's a cartoon of me. I produced that.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to go back and check that.
You need to go back and check that. So
that that Azonto YouTube video is on
a
your
channel called Tanisha Tagoe with the 40-something million views, 30-something million views.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
because
crazy.
there was a point in time where I was moving away from television into the internet space.
Okay.
YouTube had come up, and I hadn't yet, and they didn't have content ID, they didn't have like monetization processes, so it was like super early to the game, and I hadn't figured out exactly what I wanted to do yet. But the partner I was with at the time, he loved dancing, and he had this like these masks in the back of the car all the time. So we already came up with the concept of Afro mask, like, I'd pick songs and they'd dance to it and it would upload on YouTube, see how it went. And it went viral every time, like hundreds of thousands of views every time.
Right.
And we'd actually planned that particular video to be for Sarkodie, the one that became Azonto. And Sark ended up doing another video somewhere else. And a friend of mine, Ricky Davis, told me about this guy she knew called Michael. Michael, of course, became Fuse. And we'd never met or anything, but he was really eager to have that done with the song, because I think at the time it had been shelved. He'd made it a while back, but nothing had really happened. Right. And we had a whole choreographed dance routine. We had a whole plan. Right. So we were like, yeah, cool. And then he jumped on, went along to the shoot with the guys. He also filmed some bits on his camera as well, sent me some shots. Yeah, and put together the video. Wow. And that was Azonto. Went viral overnight. The boy lost his mind. He thought I deleted the video for it. But back in the day when YouTube videos went viral, there were a few signifiers, right? Right. One, the video looked like it was gone. To you, if you're like a regular viewer, it looked like it was gone. Or two, it was stuck on like 301 views. I think 301 views is the most popular version where you know you're viral now. And it was like this for a couple of days. So he didn't know what was going on. He thought I was like stalling his video, but really the video was blowing. And then one day, a few days later, we look on, finally it just said 1.5 million views or something like that. And I was like, I told you that was the problem. Because I'd seen things go viral so much. Right.
But it's interesting because even from the US, Azonto was probably, and I'm gonna be bold enough to say this without having as much Afrobeat or Afrobeats history, but Azonto was probably the breakout Afrobeat song that really started and pushed this wave of Afrobeats that's happening now. Yeah. Because of the dance.
Well, it was not just Azonto. So the thing is, it was actually Sarkodie, You Go Kill Me. And Sark was doing a lot of media work traveling, because we even he came to the UK, we put him on Tim Westwood, a lot of stuff, put him on Radio 1. So You Go Kill Me was the song that was supposed to be the Azonto video song. Okay. But then at the same time, we had this great other song, Azonto, and he already had the video. So it was kind of like both of them, I think. But because You Go Kill Me was also big.
You know, from the American side, it was the dance.
It was the,
It was the Azonto dance that, in that video of the dance that took people, when people started to say, oh, Afro beats. Well, what's the difference between Afro beats and Afrobeat? That's when people kind of started to see, oh, well, Afrobeat is say like political, Afrobeats is this.
And it's funny you should mention that. My company was called Afrobeats Limited at the time when I produced that. Exactly.
Okay, so you music videos, documentaries, films, you did that.
Yeah.
So how did you go from there to academia?
Yeah, so my grandma just kept saying, and when will you go to school? I was like, but grandma, you watch my shows, you watch my films, like you see me in places.
Grandparents are older people in your families. They don't care about nothing unless you go to school.
Like school. As I went to film school, I have certificates. No. When we were
you were playing games.
Yeah.
You didn't go to school.
So you didn't. So in London, we were in London at the time, and I was in a place called Greenford. I can't remember why I was there, but I remember I was in a place called Greenford, and there was this university there called GSM London, and I was walking past, and I was like, oh, yeah. So I walked in. Oh yeah, I remember because my friend had lived next door. So I walked in, and I just asked them, what's the most difficult degree program you have here? Because the thing with being dyslexic is that it drove me away from formal studies. It really did, from an emotional kind of confidence perspective, because I always thought I'm not going to be able to do it. So at that point, I just decided if I'm going to uni, I'm just going to go hard. Just going to do the hardest course they have in the uni, and that's it. I asked them, they said oil and gas management with business. I said, okay, fine. How do I sign up? I signed up, and that was it. They just started.
And you did well, obviously,
I got
because
first
you're a
class.
dean.
Got a first class in that. So I got a first class because what I used to do is I used to teach my colleagues, because as the dyslexic person, we learn better when we teach something, even if we don't know it.
Okay.
So I would learn, have a class, and then a few of my colleagues would always promise to come and do a study time with me after. We all got firsts together, so that was lovely, like our little study group. But yeah, did that. Then the university hired me because one of the teachers, Maurice, had seen me
Prior
teaching.
to you graduating?
Yeah, like literally like a month before the final dissertation deadline, they were already like, yeah, Tanisha, we want you to come and work with us when you finish, which was lovely. And so when it became something called a teaching fellow. Now the whole way through, I'd always been teaching, by the way, just so you know, like I'd always had little teaching jobs, the local government, local council, whatever. But this was my first time teaching in higher education in universities, which is very hard to get into. So the teaching fellowship was like the perfect door in, and it was created in this uni by a lady called Christy, who became like my hero / arch nemesis, because we're both very strong personalities, and I'm like the bottom of the food chain and she was the dean. And then we were just always finding each other like, but yeah, I did that for a while. Did an MBA, specialized in educational leadership and management. And then I began my PhD journey, cybersecurity of smart energy grid systems. And you're
currently still on your PhD journey?
I'm doing that third year now, yeah. So in the whole kind of academic journey that I was continuing, of course, every new thing I studied, every new time I got better, I just got promoted. So I just got in this thing where I was always promoted in January and August, to the point where my teaching fellow colleagues...
Middle of the year, top of the year.
Exactly. And it was just coming at me. And then my teaching fellow colleagues, they weren't really feeling it like I was feeling academia. So after a while, I just thought, let me leave them, because people say, there's not enough black people in academia, there's not enough black deans. But you know what I saw? I saw that people don't really want it. I mean, I wanted the top because my grandma was insistent that I do something that she could recognize. She only recognizes things at the top. So for me, I needed to keep going. So I was like, let me leave them. And that's how the journey to being dean came. Like, I have a rule. I do a job for like 3 to 6 months, and if the 6-month line comes and I'm not like super in love, I just start going for the next job if I haven't already been offered promotion. So there's only so many levels to go through before you get to dean. So literally, it's like teaching fellow, lecturer, module leader, head of the program leader, head of department. Then there'll be some managerial word or something like that, and then this is associate dean, and I'm associate dean. So
I haven't heard you mention or say that you ran into any roadblocks because you're a woman. I haven't heard you mention racism, white supremacy. There are a lot of things that are valid, and I'm not saying that people are complaining and you're not. These are valid things that that prevent us from being great a lot of times. And it's just interesting that a young African woman from Ghana, U.S., London, child at 16, you're still raising your son as you're doing all of these things, of course, with a strong homeschooled your son, of course, with a strong network and support with your grandmother, your mother, and having this in your family. Did you have those instances, being number one, being a black woman, right? And being a black woman, which a lot of times they say is double the challenge. Did you run into any of those things that
So I think I run into them so often, I'm like desensitized. Like
Okay.
I'm always offending someone, putting someone off, making them feel awkward. You know, like I'm over it. Like one thing that I'm really glad about from my upbringing with my grandma was like she didn't really accept when my excuse was someone else made me feel away or someone else or it was because of someone else. She was always very insistent that I take ownership, and I'm very much the same with my son. Actually, I think I'm the same with everything. It's all about taking ownership. So criticism of me and the realities of who I am, like it doesn't really bother me. So if someone's like, "Oh my gosh, you're black," I'm like, I really don't get the point that you're making here.
Right.
Or, "Oh, you can't do that because you're a woman." I literally don't understand the point that you're making here. So I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing, and eventually I think you'll figure yourself out, and at that point we'll just stay friends.
But how do you maneuver in those situations
just
where it's
ignore the
not
person.
just somebody pointing out that you're black or you're a woman, but it's somebody putting a blockade or something in place? Is it just a matter of, oh, it's a block, let me figure out how to get around it, through it, or over it, and that's
Yeah,
it?
I'm super unfazed.
Where and how in your history did being a Ghanaian woman
Help.
mean something to you? And the reason why I say that is because I know when I first met you, we were in our early conversations, and you kept saying, "I'm a Ga woman." Like, maybe, like you kept reminding me. I'm like, I'm from Trenton, and so, like, and what's that mean? But you said it with such passion that it means something to you.
It does.
So when along your journey did that like really sink in of what being a Ga woman means?
So I was literally the first granddaughter born after like I think over 10 grandsons. So when I was born, my dad's mum was first, like my first memory of someone like really overpowering. She was an African traditionalist belief system. So she'd explain to me like all our Ghanaian kind of like mummy water, all of our kind of like bits that are more traditionalist beliefs. Quite a lot. She's really into like meditating. She's into like this whole different world of being a person. And we're from Jamestown, right? So, okay, our house is in Mampobi, but we're from Jamestown. So we got family houses in Jamestown. So growing up, something like Jamestown was very normal for me. And just like my people there, they really like, they hustle hard, like they move hard. And I'll meet people from Jamestown anywhere, you know? So I think being from there, having her first was like the first kind of foot in that I could survive most things because not really much else left when you can already survive on the minimal, right? And that's literally. And then of course going to my mum's world when I was 7 and being with her most often, that gave me the strong Ga woman mentality because my grandma, she would always warn someone before she fucked them over. Like she'd be like, listen, you're about to annoy me. You're about to
That's a warning.
Just a warning, okay, which I always didn't really understand at the time because I was like, if you're gonna do it, just do it, innit? Like, why would you give someone a warning? But now, as an adult, I really realized that whole kind of, the reason I always go on about being a Ga woman is because we have a limit and we're extremely expressive. And I think, you know, all the different tribal groups around the world probably have their stereotypes, but yeah, so like my grandma, she was so strict on the UK side, right? And so serious, very rooted in our culture. And of course, our husband was the paramount chief. So I was, you know, I had to do all these like chief and know all this chief and queen mother behaviors and how to behave at this point and that point and what to do this here. So I got a lot of our traditional kind of ways of being Gans. I got that really gifted to me. And I think along the way, it's always been part of every single thing that I do. Like I remember one of my first like proper boyfriends when I actually realized what I'm supposed to be, like what a boyfriend's supposed to be. He was this Jamaican guy called Jason. We're still good friends now. And I was so into being an African woman. I'd always tell guys if they wanted to date me, like, listen, I'm African woman. I listen to African music in my house. As the African music in my house was just the first thing, just so you're aware. And I made this man fall in love with "Allow Me to Kiss Your Hand." You know that one? He would blast that thing in the car. There's a Jamaican guy in it. So he'd play Bashment, then the next track would be, and all his friends would be like, where are you getting all this African music? But I was so into just the fact that I'm African. Like, I don't know everything about what it means, but I know that if you don't appreciate or like that, then you've got no space with me. And so back to the whole thing about roadblocks, I just feel like there is this a lovely kind of sense of self-assurance and black privilege that combined were gifted to me. So from the position of self-assurance, like I am, like child or no child, I still have a learning disability. I do have a learning disability. So that kind of self-assurance plus the black privilege has just never really allowed me to let anything not go the way I want. I'm
it's
good with the
there.
journey.
It's there to be gone through,
Yeah.
over, or around.
Exactly,
It's
and I'm a
not-
strategist.
Right.
So all
Right.
of those things just offer me opportunities to be more strategic.
Right. So so now you're in Ghana, right? I know that your company Apples and Pears, you have an office in the UK, you have an office in Dubai, UAE, and you've done a lot of work in terms of helping other entrepreneurs. You have a lady entrepreneurship camp.
Club and camp.
You have a lady entrepreneurship club. You have a boot camp for entrepreneurs. You've been in Forbes, CNN, like you know, and so I think it was really important for us to go through the early part of your life to land here, right? Because right now you're in Ghana by choice. You could be in the UK, you could be in the UAE. If you want, you could probably leave tomorrow, right? Why are you in Ghana? Like, why now are you coming back here? And is it like, you know what? Well, why was it important, or was it important for you to come back here?
So so my father passed away February last year, and
Rest in peace.
so exactly, he's good. I know he's good because he keeps meddling in some stuff. Like the other day, we need to have a meeting. He's one of the ancestors now, using his powers. But he passed away last February. So I came back around April time to support and sort out funeral things. And that was really emotionally taxing. And then I just ended up staying longer. And I actually left the last associate dean job I was at the time there, around that time. So I just came, and I was just here till like May. And then I went back to the UAE because I needed to sort out bits for my bank account and just things, because now I lived there. I did that for, I think, a month, and I came back. And then I was invited to speak out again in the UAE. So I flew out for a week, and I came back like in August. And I was like, why am I keeping coming back? Like, I don't even live here. The country I keep flying to for a week is where I'm resident. Like, I'm going back to fix bills and fix things. I'm supposed to go home.
And then coming back to Ghana.
I keep coming back to Ghana. And of course in Ghana I'm homeless. Well, I was homeless at the time because, so I was like, okay, I need to fix this. Of course we got working. I met a lot of really amazing people. And I think what Ghana offered me from August till about December was a lot of therapy that I really needed. I was definitely a daddy's girl, and really strongly rooted in my grandma, my grandfather, and my dad, who all passed away like within a year or two of each other, with my dad being the last, over the last 5 years. And I was just losing reasons to be here, so I was never going to choose to go to Ghana because it felt like every reason I had to go to Ghana was like going every year. But the new relationships I built here, they just did things, they just made me feel so good or so solid. They challenged me, they questioned me, and eventually I just felt like actually Ghana has every single thing I like in a place. Sun, sea, good people, plantain. It just has everything I like. Why would I leave?
Right.
So I just started winding down what I was doing in the UAE, building up a new kind of infrastructure for the company. So it just had a global approach, because of course it started as a UK company. I never had intentions for it to be international. And then I just started working from that position, and that position, once you find your lane, everything just fits.
Right.
So
And Ghana is the center of the world.
Ghana is the center.
Ghana is the gateway to Africa.
Seriously.
So now is the perfect time for us to play Africa in 60, since Ghana is the gateway.
Yes, it is.
Since Ghana is the gateway to the rest of the African continent, you know Africa in 60. You have 60 seconds to name as many African countries as possible. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ghana, Lesotho, Togo, Abidjan, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Mali, Morocco, Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Rwanda, and Burundi, to be fair. Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Cote d'Ivoire. Did I say Cote d'Ivoire?
No, you said
I did say
Abidjan.
Cote d'Ivoire.
You said
I said
Abidjan.
and
But
Cote
I
d'Ivoire.
let it slide because,
Yeah.
but go ahead. But now you said the country.
But now also thinking about the islands, our little islands. I'll remember them in a second. Okay, where am I? Then we have something central. So DRC. Is Swaziland still called Swaziland? There you go.
Take it.
South Africa. I'm good.
We got more
Oh, we
time.
got more time.
What
Oh, I
you
thought
doing?
you were saying I thought you were nodding that
Come
way.
on.
Okay. I don't know why I can't think of anything else.
Okay, done. You got about 25. That
Did
was
I?
good. You got about 25. You got
Glad.
about 25. You was ready to stop. Like, okay, that's not.
like,
No, what
yeah,
you talking about? We got
yeah,
10
no.
more seconds in. We gonna finish this out. We
Yeah.
gonna finish this out. Okay.
But
so-
also, I don't want to. I'm glad I only got 25 because I think our winners was so good that if I
Right.
beat our winners, I'd be.
Yeah, no. But.
So I'm glad I got a
but the
good,
pressure-
respectable number.
You know what? I've thought about. I was like, somebody is gonna pull up on me one day and be like, Africa in 60. How many can you name? Like,
Actually-
I'm gonna start studying. No, I'm not doing. We ain't doing that. That's what we're not doing. So, okay, so you're in Ghana,
Yes.
right? You kept coming back here. Ghana has everything that you want in a place to be. Is it important? Is Africa important? Is Africa important to you? Is Africa important to entrepreneurs in your life, your lessons, your world affairs?
Yeah.
Or is it just another place?
No. Africa, like literally, it's all about Africa. In fact,
Okay.
from the UK, from the position of when they started to Brexit, we knew they were going to need to look to Africa for a lot of
Okay.
their agricultural needs. We knew that Europe was going to come towards Africa more. China's already been trying to come towards Africa. In fact, China's the biggest beneficiary of AfTA, which most people don't even consider. The West, the Americas, whatever, they've always been into Africa. And everyone that's not into Africa, they're just not into Africa because the marketing tells them to stay away. And that marketing is done by their own people, just who are too greedy and don't want everybody joining.
Right.
So Africa is it, right? I don't see my place in me being in Ghana as me being only in Ghana. I do see it as me being in Africa on the continent.
Okay.
I wish that there was a lot more free travel across without having to stop at places like Kenya. I wish we could just go where we want to go, but it's fine for now. I do also wish that the travel expenses weren't so expensive for Africans to go to Africa, but it's okay. We'll do good for now.
Inter-Africa travel,
It's
we already
ridiculous.
know. We talk about this. To go to neighboring countries, tickets are $1,000, $800 for a 2-3 hour flight.
Well, someone was saying to me that I think either it's Ghana and Nigeria or Ghana or Nigeria is like one of the most valuable routes for like BA. So, a lot of these airlines are just making money off of us
Right.
because
Oh, yeah.
we do have money. They just make it look like we're in poverty, but
Right.
the prices they be charging us.
They make
You
money
could go
off
from
of it,
New
definitely.
York to, I don't know, LA on $54 or Nevada at least on $54.
Yeah, less than 100, maybe on average $200-300.
And I can't get from here to Togo for that price.
No, here to Togo is about or about the same price, which is an hour away. Definitely here to Senegal, here to Sierra Leone, here to, and you can probably get from here to East Africa for less than you can get from here to other West African countries. We got to find out what's up with ECOWAS. They need to get their act together. They definitely do.
So, that's why I'm here. I'm here because I definitely want to be in the African continent. Of course, I'm really proud to be in Ghana. I'm proud as a Ghanaian, but I love a lot of African places. I love Zimbabwe. I love Mozambique. I love South Africa. Not sure whether Egypt has decided whether or not they're with us, but I'm loving my Egyptians.
Egypt is a part of Africa.
is a part
It's
of
people on
Africa.
the outside who keep trying to take Egypt from us. You know why? Because they want to say that we didn't create the pyramids. So they want to take Egypt away to continue the narrative that some aliens came down and built the pyramids and Africans are not great. These idiots.
That's why we stay unfazed. We stay
The
unfazed.
day I meet a smart racist, I'll shut up. But most racists just aren't smart. You guys are stupid. Like the things you say and do don't even make any sense. Like,
true. It's true. But yeah, so Egypt is another one. But yeah, and I'm really curious about a lot of places. Sierra Leone, Senegal.
Right.
Congo I really want to go to.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just happy to be here. The continent is where it is. And for entrepreneurs, this is a very good place to be because in one sense it's fertile ground, but in another sense it's actually very advanced.
Yes.
And if we just look at how China has managed to benefit so much from the free trade agreements, that alone tells you that there is an advanced level of business that we need to get into in terms of import, export, packaging, in terms of even like pricing strategy.
It's all here.
It's all here. It's all ready. And there's so many, and also, of course, as well, our transaction processes, like our payment processes, like Momo and stuff, give us that exclusivity from Visa and MasterCard that we don't really need them for.
Exactly.
So there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done. Once the tech people get their act in order and start figuring out how we can do all of those things, the financial transactions, from here to Kenya, and I'm paying in cities, they're receiving it in theirs, we're good.
Have you made the solid commitment to be a part of this future of Africa to the world?
Yeah.
You're here. Like this is you've because I know because even though you might still go back to UAE, you still might go back to UK, but now that you found you coming back, didn't know why you was coming back, and you're here. Do you see that? I'm probably going to be in Ghana. Like I'm gonna be in Ghana. I'm gonna be in Africa.
Yeah. I mean, so with Apples and Pears, our mission is to support 30,000 businesses by 2030.
Okay.
And what we do is we help people to start, build, grow, and sell businesses. So any of those methods is fine. I'm definitely focusing us more. We've got clients across 18 countries, but I'm definitely trying to focus more on the African continent and boosting the number of countries from Africa. I would love to be able to say in 10 years that the majority of our portfolio is African grown or started businesses, but that they are internationally trading, that they're internationally known, you know, a few IPOs, like that's what the goal is for me now. And I want that to happen from the African continent. Because I think with age, I'm just getting a little bit more kind of overprotective of Africa and Africans. You know, I don't want to say patriotic because you can't be patriotic to the continent.
I got you.
But you know,
you
like,
can.
You can? I don't want to confuse people and make them think Africa's a country. You know?
No. So the reason why I say you can, because being from the U.S., somebody like me who traced my DNA to find myself, I always say I am a child of all of Africa.
Okay, exactly.
I mean, which is,
same.
you know, I'm a child of all of Africa. Like, even though I've been able to trace here, and you know that you are Ghanaian, but you can still decide for no other reason other than because you have decided that you are a child of all of Africa,
exactly.
And you're patriotic for all of Africa.
Yeah, and I am. Right. And the older I grow, the more I am. I mean, I started off, I studied Black history like ages ago, Robin Walker, and I was really into this whole like Black everything. I met Black Panther members. I did the whole thing, but yeah, just as I've grown, I've just realized actually, I probably will retire in Africa. I mean, look, my son's 20, so I'm an empty nester. So if I'm going to be an empty nester anywhere in the world, why would I not do that in the African continent?
Right.
So that was kind of like the first reason why I was like Africa. Like it's just all about that. But secondly, because the most potential is here, right? So
youngest continent.
It's the youngest
all
continent.
the natural resources, the best weather,
the best minds,
the best energy, the best vibe, Charlie.
All of it.
Ghana enjoyment capital of the world, Charlie.
And you know, I'm trainee chief enjoyment officer. So until I get my full badge. No, but like for real, like I love soft life in the day, enjoyment in the night. Like Ghana and the African continent gives it all to me safely. Yes. Right? Yes. With respect. Like I feel like I can do anything and achieve anything from the continent. So those are the reasons why, yeah, I'm rooting myself here, and I definitely think entrepreneurs should as well. So this is our final episode of Diaspora Link. It is. Right? We have successfully done all 20, and we saved you. I said to save the best for last. Thank you. So why don't you tell everybody on a scale of 10 to 20, with 10 being incredible and 20 being unexplainable, just how good has it been working with me on this show? So if 10 is incredible and 20 is inexplainable. Right, if 10 is incredible, like how just... I mean, in the most part, working with Diallo has been pure perfection. And I'll say that because I like variety, I like a bit of spice, I like comedy, I like joking around. But I also love travel, I love meeting new people, seeing new things, hearing new things. And we do that. Right. So actually working with you is probably like more like a 30. Hey, look at you. You're welcome. Look at you. You're welcome. Look at you. It is probably more like a 30. Say 30 one more time. No, I'm joking. No, but it really is, because the thing with being a producer and producing content is technically it's very technical. Right. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to matter to me who you are, who's behind the camera. I want to shout out two people. Kevin Swain, Chris White. These are two gentlemen who showed me what it means to have a technical team and what it means to be an executive producer, right? These are two people who I listened to, experts in their field, who told me, shut up, go do your job as an executive producer. I'm the director, film, I know what I'm doing. I'm the sound guy, I know what I'm doing. You go, get out our way, like you're in our way. Yeah. When I met you, and I asked, who are you? You said, what did you tell me, fairy? I'm a fairy. I'm a psychic fairy. You're a psychic fairy. But I am a psychic fairy, right. You know that. You told me you were a psychic fairy. And I was like, okay, but when I met you and I saw you, it's interesting because I looked and I just said, like, you weren't dressed particularly spectacular, or it was an average day, you know.
And I was like, who is her? Who is this? Like, I felt that you were different. And I felt that we were kindred spirits. And I came up to you and I asked you, who are you? And you said psychic fairy. And I love that response. And then one of the other things that really attracted me to work with you and find out more about who you are is you said something very clear in the open about, I talk to my shrines all the time or something. And I haven't found a lot of people who openly speak about ancestral veneration, communication, even in a joking somebody who you just met, because it scares a lot of people away. It's spooky. And I'll say that I'm very happy that I've had an opportunity to meet you and work with you here, as well as to learn more about apples and pears. I will say that you have helped me to step my game up professionally in a number of ways, and I absolutely enjoy working with you. And as much as I absolutely enjoy working with you. But I'm sure you enjoy working with me more, because I just have to say that.
I was like, is he gonna cry? Is he gonna say something silly? That's what
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. But no. But no, seriously. So let's end this. We've gone a little longer than all of the other interviews. I mean, I asked you to join me on a journey that we were beginning with GhanaWeb, and this is the end of our first season. What made you say this is the project I want to work on? Or because people come to you all the time, right? You have other opportunities, but you say, you know what, I'm gonna take my time to do this. I believe in this. Yeah. I mean, outside of the obvious, what, like he's a trip. Yeah. So now y'all actually get to see how we are off camera. This is the real Diallo. Well, no, seriously. Like, what made you? What made you say this is important? Well,
firstly, from a production perspective, the day that, of course, we were talking about this, we happened to already be around the crew who's now actually our crew. Right. And I could feel their competence. It was very obvious that they knew what they were doing. When the concept of the show was shared, it was instantly like, Diallo has to do that. Like, you have to do that. That makes so much sense. It's perfect for you. And I think it's just a combination of like the GhanaWeb team are clearly very competent in everything that they do. You're extremely competent in everything that you do. And I'm competent in everything I do. Sometimes perfect formula. Perfect formula, right? So everything works together. It was kind of like, Diallo should have a show. It should be on GhanaWeb. Right. And of course, then you remember I went into how it should look. And I obsessed about that for like a month or two. Right. And production values and stuff, remember? But once we got there, it was just so obvious this is what the world needed. And the moment we launched and released the first episode, like the feedback, right? Perfect. It's exactly what I could feel when I thought about the combination of things. And that's why it was easy to pick this. There are, of course, other projects where people might have more budget or more this or more that. But getting that energy right, I think after all my different experiences as a producer, that I can tell straight away when something's the right thing to do, whether or not it's high ticket. And we actually, like, I get a lot of feedback from people who are like, thank you. Exactly. Right? A lot of it is just gratitude, like, I need this. Yeah. You know, and I know that by the time people get a chance to view this episode, they would have seen all 19. And for me, it was really important that people get to hear your story too. Thank you. So not just a producer, but for people to be able to see that it's not just me sitting up here hosting. You know what I'm saying? There's being from the diaspora, but our team is people of the diaspora who believe in this and what we're doing. Yeah. I want to say thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you. We want to tell everybody that season 2 is coming. Season 2 is going to be amazing. We will be continuing to bring you Diaspora Link with different looks, feels, and flavors. Getting out of the studio a little bit. Getting out of the studio. You know today was special because I wore my, I had to give y'all this for the last one for Tanisha. So thank you. Thank you, Tanisha. Thank you. It's been really good. We're going to be right back. We're just going to do like a little flash thing, and then we're going to bring the whole team up because we want you all to see the team that's worked with us from GhanaWeb. We want to put everybody on camera. It's a little bit different. I wish I had a bottle of champagne to pop just because it's significant that we completed our first season, and we want you to see everybody who's helped to make this happen so you can see their face and we can thank them on camera too. So, you're doing great things around the world. Zoo.
From all of us here at the Diaspora Link team at GhanaWeb, we wanted you to see that there are real human beings behind the cameras and in the offices working together. This is our whole team. We wanted you to see everybody's face. We want to personally say from Tanisha and I, thank you to everybody here for a successful first season of Diaspora Link. We look forward to season 2. And you know, what do we all say together? Do we like say Madasi? Do we all say hamburger,
I want you to say
cheeseburger?
plantain.
Should we say plantain? Okay, so we're going to say plantain since that's, which absolutely makes no sense, but we'll do it. On the count of 3, we'll all say plantain. Then we'll say Madasi. Is there a GhanaWeb theme song or something we do? Okay. 1, we're going to say plantain, y'all. People need to know that we're really crazy. 1, 2, 3. Plantain. You see how this? Hey. Madasi, everybody. We don't have a proverb for today. However, we will end this show by saying we know what unity and teamwork looks like, and this is what it is. So we hope that you've enjoyed this first season of GhanaWeb, all 20 episodes. Please go back, replay, rewatch, share your favorite moments, and we will see you on season 2. Peace, everybody. Boza!
Yeah.